log off, shut down, and get outside at 4 Mile Creek Metroparks Sycamore Bluffs area. Good morning and welcome back for another edition of Creeking in the Parks. My name is Becky Vanderpool. I'm the Senior Manager of Park Connections with Metroparks of Butler County, and today we're at 4 Mile Creek Metroparks Sycamore Bluffs area.
And my name's Lynn White. I'm the Education and Volunteer Specialist for Butler Soil and Water Conservation District. Now, the creek we're in today, this is our first time here. We've never actually been to this location to do this kind of program before, so we're kind of excited to see what we can find.
The bedrock here might make the experience a little bit different from the other creeks that we've been in, so come along and join with us. Let's see what we can find.
So there's not that many loose rocks at this park. So this is one of the first rocks I picked up, and it's covered in worms that are everywhere. Now, worms don't need much oxygen to live, but this was found in a high oxygen area. There's also caddisflies on here, and this little guy right next to my finger here is a caddisfly. And there's another one I'm not sure if you can see. Oh, there's a big one. There's one right there.
I see him, yep.
So there's lots of caddisflies on here as well, and these rocks were stuck on it by caddisflies. Oh, there's a big one just about to crawl down the side. So there's lots and lots of life on this one rock, and they're all congregating together because there's really not much space. There's not much habitat for them. Now this dark thing right next to my finger here is a mayfly, and he's sitting really still, so it's hard to spot. He has 3 tails. They're kind of joined together just now, but he's moving there. But he's actually got 3 tails spread out, and when they're spread out, it makes it a lot easier to identify them. Those guys, they need kind of clean water. They prefer awesomely clean, but they need at least kind of clean water. So having the caddisflies and the mayflies is a good sign. If the only thing I found here was worms, I'd be kind of worried. This little guy that's walking across the rock here has got really teeny tiny legs on his underside. He's got kind of this armor plating on top, and they like to eat the algae, like the green furry stuff that grows on the rocks. And this is the first one I've seen this summer. Usually I find them everywhere. They can only live in clean water. These guys are sensitive to pollution. So this is a nice thing for us to find here.
Awesome.
So there's a water penny on my hand where he's not quite as well camouflaged. But that's the great thing. These little guys are camouflaged in color, blending in to the color of the rock, but they're also camouflaged in shape because they're so flat. They just look like a bump on the rock. Alright, so this snail that was crawling around on one of the rocks underwater is a pouch snail. And I can tell that because when you turn them over, if you put the point in the air, look to see if the opening's on the left or the right. The ones with the opening on the left, they can live in water that's not as good quality. It doesn't mean they're not good to find. Any life is good to find. But if you find one with the opening on the right, then those guys are gilled snails and they're really sensitive to pollution. Oh, here he is. He's waking up and coming out.
So besides spending some time in the creek here today at Sycamore Bluffs, we also got the pleasure of seeing some other wildlife flying around above our heads. Down near the bridge, we saw several swallows flying around. We heard a woodpecker in the distance. A kingfisher we saw fly up into a tree, who also was pretty loud talking to us, as well as a hummingbird that flew by. So remember, when you're here in a creek, take time to look around you, not just down at your feet and in the water.
Here at Sycamore Bluffs, the main thing about this park is that we're standing here on a kayak canoe entry into the river. So if you do come here with your boat, either to put in here to go downstream or to put in upstream and come here, always make sure that you're wearing your life vest. It doesn't matter how slow and how safe you think the water is. It's important that everyone follows the law and wears their life vest on the water.
Thank you once again for joining us today for our Creeking in the Park series. Today we were at the Sycamore Bluff area of 4 Mile Creek Metro Park. Look for other ways to log off, shut down, and get outside at yourmetroparks.net and
ButlerSWCD.org.